So obviously you guys get the bye week. You mentioned Saturday that there would be you go on recruiting. What is kind of your practice and recruiting plan for the bye week, and how many assistants will you be sending on the road?
So, today we just kind of cashed the film this morning, and there'll be some light lifting and some things depending on how much guys have played this afternoon. Tomorrow is a mandated NCAA day off for voting. So that's going to be nationwide for all programs. We'll go pretty good Wednesday, Thursday, in some game prep, and then mix in some young guys. Off Friday because coaches will be on the road, to your point, and then some light work on Saturday before we get into game week. So, I just told the guys, we got to compete this week. So if your competition is getting your body right, motion is medicine, and you got to make sure you're doing that. If you're a 2 or a 3, you need to get better and sharpen your iron a little bit. And if you're a young guy, you can get some opportunity to show us what you have and what you can do. So it's good. It's a good week. And I think we'll be sending out 9 coaches. The new coaches are yet to be cleared by the NCAA. So I think we'll send everybody else out and try to touch all of our commitments and kind of reaffirm our board a little bit.
What will you personally be doing this week?
I'm going to be raising the flag in Washington. It's important to me. It's important to us, and it's important to our program. So I'm going to be around some high schools in Washington and seeing some guys, and excited to do that. Excited to meet coaches. Excited to just expand our brand around the state. And I just think it's really important to understand that this is our home base. Washington kids are important to our program and will be extremely important going forward. Whether that's scholarship or walk-on, Pullman, Washington embodies the Washington spirit, and the Cougar spirit kind of takes all that into account. So that's going to be my main focus going into this weekend.
And will you have any players on visits this weekend or no?
We will not. We will not. We'll be going out, to really get our first time, Jamie, in schools. Okay. And it's evaluations. We can't talk to any players. This will be the first time since I've been here to be able to do that. It's kind of amazing to say that, having such a late bye week, and then obviously with the COVID process and limiting recruiting. So just excited to be able to do that and then shake some coaches' hands and be on a Friday night game and watch some high school guys play. It'll be fun for me.
And then we saw at halftime, Cade Beresford was in a boot. Do you have kind of an update on his status?
He's taking it one day at a time. We think hopefully with the bye week, he should be ready in a couple of weeks, ready to go, and he's going to do everything he can in the meantime to make sure he's ready. So, he's taking a lot of reps. So whatever, if it is a little bit of a short week, we feel confident, that he'll be back out there and ready and do everything he can to be ready for a couple of weeks from now.
And then last one for me, we saw Shaw Smith-Wade had another really strong game on Saturday. Is there kind of a way you're trying to get him a little more involved and get him some more snaps?
Absolutely. And, we showed his play in front of the team. And my message to the team was, because anyone that does this, I always love to point it out. When you practice that hard and you care about it that much, you will get the results on Saturday. And he wasn't getting some reps. He didn't mope. He didn't pout. He still worked hard, and just proud that he's just seeing those results. And he's been an impact on special teams the whole year. So I love competition, and our corner room has always been about competition and who's playing right. And he's earned more and more reps as we've gone out throughout the season. So just happy for him. He's always been positive and working hard. So see those results on Saturday, and it was one heck of a play. So excited for him.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
All right, Coach, our next one's going to be Colton Clark from the Spokesman Review. Go ahead, Colton.
Hey, Coach. Hope all's well.
Oh, you bet. You too.
Thank you. I'm kind of wondering about the enthusiasm of the team right now. I mean, you guys control your own destiny. You have your goals in front of you, and you've kind of come out of this thing with high spirits. Have those kind of been, talking points for you the past couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, this morning was fun. Anytime you win a game in this league, you celebrate it. Anytime you win a game in this league on the road, you celebrate it. A game in this league on the road against a good team. I mean, it was just a great team win. So, we celebrated that this morning. We showed some clips. We highlighted some players of the game. The spirits are high and the momentum is strong. I think the biggest message I had to them is, great teams play themselves into meaningful November games. And the biggest thing is, a lot of people are going to tell them what's ahead. they're well aware of what's ahead. So let's take it one game at a time. Let's win each day in this bye week. Whatever you need to do as a person and a player, let's get back and making sure we're focusing on our academics so we can finish strong in that realm. But we know what's ahead, and we're just going to take it one day at a time and one game at a time, really going forward.
You talked a little bit about how it's been beneficial for one voice to be on offense. Can you just talk a little bit more about that and why you think it's been effective? Is it kind of a simplifying things?
Well, that was just one of those things where I was just appreciative of what Brian was doing, and for that staff to come together, the way they have in that short order, I think is phenomenal, and I get a chance to listen to them, as they're going and they're working together, they're doing things together, they're planning together. That's more what I meant by that. It wasn't anything about the past. It was just how proud I am of that offense coming together and Brian doing a great job of rallying those guys. And they did a great job with explosive plays and finishing. And I believe it was 40 some carries on Saturday, which is just an awesome number. And to watch them finish the game the way they did, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah. And on the running game, are you guys trying to make it a point to maybe run the ball more than the past, or is that kind of a situational thing with this game?
Well, I think it was a little bit of both. I think we had some luxury at the end of the game to try to eat up some clock and keep moving and just impose our will on the opponent. One of my big goals, I call it the finish factor, right? You got to win in the red zone. You got to win on money down or third downs. And the other one is I always want to outrush our opponent in the fourth quarter. And, we did that. That was great. So it's just good to see. And just proud of our guys, proud of the old line. I thought they protected well, and I thought they finished a lot of the runs really well. And Max and Dion were a great 1-2 punch on Saturday. So it'll always be a part of the offense. It is the run and shoot for a reason, and I think we can feature those guys even more in different ways going forward.
And RJ Stone was named Defensive Lineman of the Week. Just kind of what he showed you Saturday, and from a broader perspective, what's he kind of brought to this team from an energy level and a performance level this year?
Consistency. I mean, that's the first thing I hear and know. And I don't get into all the stats. I don't get into all the publicity. But RJ deserves everything he's getting because he's operating within a team concept. Okay. Guys can still have individual success, individual awards, especially when they believe in a team concept. And I think that's what RJ does. He's an emotional leader for us. He's obviously a vocal leader for us. Everybody knows that. But people don't see. Some people see the funness in RJ, but this guy works hard. This guy has been playing a little bit banged up. He's given his teammates everything he has. I got a lot of respect for RJ and what he does and how he does it because he does it his way. But at the same time, he works his tail off. He wants coaching. He wants critique because he wants to get better, and he's got a high ceiling and a high bar for himself. So I'm really happy with his success, and whether other people are taking notice, we can't worry about that. But the film speaks for itself.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but did I see maybe even a little bit more rotation, kind of more different looks on the defensive line, more of that speed front in this game to Rattle Daniels, or was it pretty consistent with the past?
I just think it ended up being the situation. And I think it's pretty evident now. People are going to try to get us to stay out of it. They changed the tempo. BYU went fast to the line. So there's different ways to try to prevent us from using some of it. But we try to keep guys fresh. I mean, it was hot, and then we got ourselves in a pass situation at the end of the game where we could use those guys a little bit more. So it was a combination of a couple different things.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Again, if you have any questions for Coach Dickert, please raise your hand. We'll call on you. Coach, we got another one from Jamie Vinnick and Kook fan. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Coach. So what kind of settled it for you in hiring Coach McKnight to coach the offensive lineman?
Well, I just think the familiarity with this offense, in a short order like we were put under, that was a premium. And then it took one conversation to realize he's got a great spirit. He's got a great mindset. He just wants to come in and help and wants to pour into guys. And he is just an old school football guy that just loves it. And, been really happy with him and what he's done, and his presence around the team has been nothing but positive. So, that was pretty easy to see, and it was a great fit, and he just had a great mindset coming in.
What does he emphasize technique-wise, and how do you think he's kind of connected with the offensive line?
Well, offensive line is it's a unique connection, right? It's just unique people. It's just one of those things that those guys have bonds that last a lifetime. And O-line guys understand O-line guys. And I think that's what Coach McKnight does. But he's a technician of the game. And if you're a lifelong learner and you always want to pick up little things, I think that's what Abe and Liam have really, globbed onto is just, hey, there's a couple little things I could do here and there. Those two guys are going to have more coaches in their lives that hopefully are going to help them even more as you keep going forward. So they've just taken a very mature approach to Coach McKnight and his technique and his energy. And he's a football guy. So he's got his old drill tape probably from the 80s, with him here. So it's just fun. It's just fun to be around and to see our guys just respond to him is a credit to him.
And then just talk about his style a little bit. Is there something kind of unique to it with him being a little more old school?
Well, it's old school fun, not old school tough. It's not old school beat you down and criticize you. It's old school fun. And, every once in a while, he'll just be sitting there and he'll tell you a story about when he had to block LT. LT threw him down and he got back up. And, there's just fun stories like that he brings to the table. He keeps it light, yet he's very serious about what he does. And like I said, just a fun presence to have on this team right now.
And then last thing, just kind of going back to what I asked you about earlier is what is kind of the schedule for practice and walkthroughs this week? Does it differ in a bye week?
Yeah, I think we trim it down a little bit. Take the contact away, especially for some of the older guys. Let's get the looks. Let's communicate some of the adjustments. Get our base schemes in. I do want to have pretty much 90% of the game plan in after Saturday. So then next week is just cleaning it up. It's second repetitions. It's making sure mentally we're really sharp on what we want to do so we can perform our best. So, yeah, I think you pull back a little bit, you get the guys, and basically I told the guys, when we get out there, we need to work. Your energy systems need that. We can't come out sleepy against Oregon. That'll never work. So when you're out there, we work hard. We're going to get some young guys, some really good reps that will help them way into the future. So that'll be Wednesday and Thursday. And like I said, pretty light on Saturday.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, Coach, we have time for a couple more. Next one, Colton Clark, Folks from Review. Go ahead, Colton.
Sorry, just one more thing about the offensive line. You kind of mentioned them, but, they didn't allow a sack against a team that was really getting to the quarterback. Is that team or that group just been seeing pretty tremendous growth weekly this season? And also in that game, how much did that kind of relate to Jaden's timing as a quarterback?
Well, I think number one, our strength on offense is our offensive line. I've always believed that going against those guys. I mean, they're tough. They got a hard mindset, and they know what it's like to be an O-lineman because they've been here a long time. And it was impressive to watch because I have a lot of respect for Arizona State's defensive line. I've seen them quite a bit, and the clean pockets, the clean throws, it allows Jaden to go through his progression and just really be clean. And when you get a quarterback that can step in the throws, you're going to improve his accuracy greatly, so I think, those guys are the unsung hero of this team. They don't get enough credit, yet they come out every day. They work hard. They sacrifice themselves. They have a next man up mentality. I know when Cade went down a little bit, Make is ready to go the whole rest of the game. So just impressed by their mentality, their makeup. And I think that's been established here for a long time in those guys, and they really care. So it's fun to watch.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach, I think we have one more. Brenna Green, Spokane TV. Go ahead, Brenna.
Hi, Coach Dickert. Just was wondering your initial thoughts when you saw that you guys got the Pac-12 after dark time slot today with Oregon, since we know that normally is a game that, for whatever reason, has some chaos just generally between those two teams, and then putting it late is another, Pac-12 after dark. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. We actually haven't played one in a while, so that means obviously good things are happening for us and our team, and they deserve that moment. We know the type of environment that we're going to be walking into. We'll be prepared for it. Our guys will be ready. It'll be a 60-minute ball game, and it's going to be ebbs and flows of that game, and it'll be an exciting environment and one that these guys have played themselves into to play meaningful football in November. That's exactly what we set out for when we started this season, and we're here in that moment now. So, we'll be ready for the challenge.
Have to ask, because it's gotten kind of big on social media in the past 48 hours. have you seen the big Dickert energy hashtag and what do you think of it?
My brother and I think all my buddies sent it to me. I don't know what the meaning of it is. I don't, unfortunately I've heard everything growing up with my last name. I get it, but it's one of those things where I'm not going to spend a lot of energy on that. That's for sure.